Here we go, everybody. Game number 1. Let's go. Club Wars is here. Alright, so it's going to be Ronin versus Paradox. Ronin versus Paradox. We're going to be watching on Ronin's side, so Ronin will be on the left and Paradox will be on the right. So, first ban, coming up with the toxic team from Platt. So, it's Martin Farmer versus Platt. Platt always bringing in the toxic team. Doing a little bit of transitions with no Grumper. He's running in Naga, Yukama, Tuvine, and Gyalis. He's liking the Golder. He's bringing back in the Volarant as well. I know for a little bit he wasn't running the Volarant, so adding in all of these Tems. And we have on Martin Farmer's side, we have the Monkey, the Naga, and we also have the Pig variant with this. So, we have the Cernive comp with the double nature with Cernive. Kinu, no third nature that normally people are running, but he switches that in for the Naga and the Size Munch. So a lot of people, he has like a mixture of a lot of the comps put together, right? A lot of people like bringing in Size Munch with two melee Tems, Gyalis and either Skunch or Mushuk. But he's just running it with Gyalis for the synergy. Then also people like running 3 nature, right? Kinu, Cernive, and then they usually run Volphy. They'll run Saku. Has been getting a lot of attention lately. But he's deciding on running that by itself. Then the Naga comp as well. A lot of people like running Naga with Grumper. They like running it with Pig. They like running it with Golder as well. So only having the Naga with the Pig. No Grumper, no Grumper, and no Golder. So having a bunch of mixtures of all the comps and then having the Volarant with double crystal to have the toxic plume synergy. So a lot of different comps all put into one for Martin Farmer here. So Golder's being picked up after the Naga is banned. So it's going to be a Golder here. He's picking up the Tuvine and trying to think of what he can pick up as well to be able to deal with anything that comes into play. So when you're playing against a toxic comp, Tuvine is really strong just because there's usually the Volarant being banned. If Volarant gets banned, it's your wind damage Tem that's going to be able to deal with Nidrisil. It's going to be able to deal with Platimus, right? So usually Tuvine is your other answer if you don't have any other wind Tems. He does have Pig on the side, so he could run the Tuvine Pig. If there is a chance that Pig is going to get banned, if it does get banned, then there's only one side of wind damage against these Tems here. But he does decide to pick Tuvine and Cernive, making it to where Yukama can't get picked nearly as easily. And Platimus has an okay check. But with Golder being here, he can run Urushiol, he can run Water Cannon with Yukama, and yeah, pretty good synergies with the Golder here, especially with this Toxic comp. But he decides on the Gyalis. Alright. So, picking Gyalis, now thinking about the next ban for Martin Farmer. Martin Farmer... But yeah, Volarant does look like a good ban here. Volarant actually does really well against his team. It does well against Monkey, does well against the Naga. And he's assuming most likely the Pig is going to get banned, which it does because he wants all of the wind damage gone so that his Toxic Tems can kind of just kill everything. So banning out the Volarant is definitely nice here for Martin Farmer. Nidrisil coming into play, and this is looking like a Kinu Gyalis with no Naga. I don't know if Naga can really see play in this series against Platt. So Kinu Gyalis, and then it's probably going to be a coin flip between Naga and Size Munch, but I think it's going to lean towards the Size Munch here. And then he brings in Platimus Yukama. Being able to deal with the Size Munch. I mean, man, if this was a Water Custodian Naga, I think it would do pretty well here. Like, it would do okay to be able to tank up all the damage. And he does decide on bringing in Naga, so alright. We got Martin Farmer versus Platt, game number 1 in this club war. Okay, here we go, Giles Golder on the Platt side, and we have Cernive and Tuvine on the Martin Farmer side. So because he picked the double water, it's not bad to run Naga here, especially since with these Platimus and Yukama doing so well against Size Munch, it kind of puts Size Munch in a really weird spot. It's not going to be able to do much damage. Golder is... I mean, there is the Toxic type, where if it takes toxic damage, it heals from it. He could be running that because he can use Toxic Ink on himself. He can heal himself with like Nidrasil or Platimus. But normally, I think a lot of people are running the trait where it takes 30% less damage from melee moves, since there are quite a bit of melee Tems that are in play right now. Gyalis, along with Skunch, that is also being played pretty often, and Mashuk. So Naga can still use Psysurge, it can also still use the Beta Burst and all that kind of such to be able to deal quite a bit of damage to Yukama, Platimus, all of these Tems. So it's not like Naga is just a useless pick against a Toxic team, it still does alright against it. Alright, so Tuvine is being switched out, bringing in Gyalis, Water Cutting Lily coming through. Going into Gyalis, doing 72%, pretty standard. Double Gash doing 22 with the Toxic Ink coming in. That's going to bring it pretty close to 50%, 55%, and pretty decent turn. It's kind of showing that they both have pretty tanky Gyalises with not much speed. We have Sweatband here, but we also have Doppelganger onto Gyalis. So that means this Crystal Bite, if it does come through into Gyalis, I think it actually is probably going to kill. It's going to be really close to do 55% with Crystal Bite from Gyalis. So he's going to have to calculate that if he wants to make sure Crystal Bite doesn't kill his Gyalis, because it's definitely going to be really close. Now, with Golder on the field, there's really no threat towards him, right? He only has the Tuvine to be able to deal a lot of damage to Golder. Water Cutting Lily isn't going to be able to do much, and with his Gyalis in play, it's not going to be able to do well either, because if Crystal Bite comes through, Gyalis most likely will die due to Doppelganger, and if it doesn't die, then, I mean, Golder can just kind of Toxic Ink that slot as well, so. Looking really strong for Plat on turn 2 here. Putting that counter pick into Flourition. Yeah, I don't really see Cernif putting in a ton of work into this game. I didn't see if it was settling or not, so I don't know if it's going to be gaining damage each turn. But yeah, I think Marn Farmer's in a pretty weird spot. He's going to have to try to figure out how to kill the Golder for one, and be able to deal with the Gyalis, because he can't use his own Gyalis to kill it. So he might have to do some weird Kinu shenanigans, probably some 50-50 switch-ins to try to get back into this game. He also doesn't have a Crystal Tank. With no Crystal Tank, this Crystal Bite's going to do so much damage to whatever it wants. And he Sharp Stabs the Gyalis with his own Doppelganger and Water Cutting Lily, hoping that this kills. It does not. It lives with 5% HP. Crystal Bite coming through, 55%, down to 2%. So Doppelganger doesn't kill, and the Toxic Ink comes through. So there's no Sharp Stab from the Gyalis anymore, which means that Gyalis' Sharp Stab on Plat's side is going to be able to kill Marn Farmer's Gyalis. It should be faster. It should be faster than the Cernif for sure. So like I was saying, the Crystal Bite was going to be extremely close to be able to kill. Since there is no War Drum on Golder, I think that was the biggest thing. So one thing to think about too is settling is proccing for the Cernif. The Golder did not proc Colossity, so Shy Shield is going to be the way to gain defense, or with Kinu. So the thing that kind of sucks here, right? Marn Farmer kind of needed his Gyalis to be able to deal with the Golder, because there's only Tuvine to deal with Golder, right? And a lot of the times when people run Nidrasil or Platimus, they'll put some HP and defense on them, because they know that if they ban out the Volerant every single time on first ban, they either have to deal with Tuvine or they have to deal with Grandpa. Grandpa's pretty, like, the easier one to deal with overall, when it comes to the comp, just because they can use the energy drink correctly. But yeah, Sharp Staff come through, doing the 20% into the 2-Vine. Water Cutting Lily come through, most likely going to get that kill on the Gaialis, and it does. It's going to have to take... Oh, it does have War Drum on the 2-Vine, so that's showing. Toxic Ink onto 2-Vine as well. So this is actually a weird... Well, actually a pretty good turn, I think. I actually think this is a good turn for Marn. He can Bush... and he can Revitalize whatever one he decides to do. If he wants to Revitalize, he can actually switch in Kinu and Revitalize. There's no pressure onto the Kinu switch in from 2-Vine. With Gael's dead, the only pressure would be Nidrasil using Toxic Ink. And bringing in Yukama makes it a little bit easier as well, so... So there's only Water Cannon. If he wants to, he can bring in Kinu and then use Bush to make sure there's no double into, since I think that's what he wants to do here. Yeah, I think switching out 2-Vine into Kinu is pretty good here. And then he can Revitalize and Bush next turn. When he Bushes next turn, he'll be able to get the Revitalize off from Kinu as well. Yukama is definitely safe for the next 2 turns. He doesn't want a Water Cutting Lily. If you Water Cutting Lily, he is going to overexert. With 25% stamina, he definitely has 15 stamina to be able to use Revitalize. Normally, Cernifs run 61 stamina at minimum. So if he has 61 stamina, 15 is 25% of 60, so... Actually thinking about it, if he has 25 stamina, and they always run 61% minimum, that means he has more than 61. That means he has 64 on his Cernif. 64 would make 16 stamina, 25%, right? So he might run a little bit more stamina than 61 on his Cernif. Those are little things you can understand just by looking at percentages off of a specific tem that you're looking at. So Plat can see that he has 25% stamina on his Cernif. So yeah, you can definitely see those type of things. So Gaeal's comes in instead of the Kinu. Water Cutting Lily for the overexertion. 12%. And the snare! Oh no! This is a really good turn for Plat, I think. Harfalick doesn't kill it. Okay, so... I thought his Cernif was going to die due to a Toxic Ink, but instead he Harfalicks. With Snare... Oh man. Okay, so because Snare is snaring the Sweatband onto Cernif, and Yukama not going down, this is pretty rough. Because that means Cernif is going to have to sit on the bench longer, and then in order to get his heal off, he's going to have a specific tem die. I think Naga is not a bad play here. If he brings in Naga... Sorry. If he brings in Naga here, he can beta burst the Yukama knowing he's slower. Okay. And then he can then switch out the Cernif into Kinu in order to tank the Toxic Ink that Golder is going to be putting on to Naga most likely. At this point, you don't care about Cernif. Cernif has Settling, right? Which means once he switches out, he's not going to have the bonus for extra damage. So if he switches out, you don't really care about Cernif sitting here. So I don't think you should Toxic Ink into Cernif to try to get the kill. Unless you want damage onto Kinu, because that's most likely to switch in. Which it is. So Kinu switches into the Cernif slot, buffing up the Naga. Yukama being switched out. He wants to save the Aquatic Whirlwind or another Water Cannon for later. It makes a lot of sense here. And let's see if he madnesses. I don't think he will. He has a Strange Vest, so Strange Vest is making it to where he has even more defense than he should. Overexertion on a Golder, Beta Burst coming through on a Platimus, so this is actually a really, really strong turn. This is a very, very strong turn for Marth Farmer. Golder overexerting here makes it to where he has more... he has more tempo for this turn. This turn is actually really big. He can Stonewall here with Kinu. He can revitalize the Naga back up, and Platimus isn't going to be able to do too much. It does have you Rush Shield, though. So if he has a slow Kinu, Platimus is naturally faster than Kinu. So if he wants to Beta Burst with a Psy Surge, that could kill Platimus. Beta Burst doing 70%, so it's going to be pretty close. Probably not going to kill, actually. So yeah, now the play is Platimus is, if he has no speed on his Kinu, Platimus is going to be faster. If he wanted to, he could switch in Cerneef and get a Revitalize off maybe, but I think if it's a Rushio play, which it most likely will be from Platimus, it's going to just kill the Cerneef anyways if he Revitalizes here. So yeah, Psy Surge is definitely the play. Psy Surge 70% down to 40. And Revitalize coming through, trying to get more health onto the Naga. Rushio coming through onto Kinu. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. And the Snare coming through. Usually whenever you see Platimus, it's either Coat or... It's usually Coat or Coat. It's hard to say what his items should be because Golders run Coat as well. So you don't really know who's running what here. You don't know where the code is. We don't know where the item is for that, but we do know all the items from Marth Farmer. So in this situation, Golder is going to be the fastest, okay? So if he wants, he can Bamboozle. He can make sure Platimus lives, right? He can... I don't really know who is in a better spot here. I think Bamboozle's most likely the play. And you Rushio onto Naga. Naga is going to be faster than Kinu, so Kinu can't break the Bamboozle, so Naga can deal damage. So now you have to think about what Marth Farmer is going to do here. Maybe Stonewall? But it dies to a Toxic Ink. I don't think Toxic Ink is coming through into Kinu. I think Kinu is pretty safe on this turn. But he does decide to switch it out, so... Bringing in Cerneef. Yeah, I don't think... okay, so Platimus is being taken out. No Rushio. He's bringing in Nidrasil. And then Toxic Ink onto the Naga. 39%, and then 2 ticks of Poison is going to do 25. It's going to have 15% left after 2 turns. Beta Burst coming in. Beta Burst doing 72%. So, selling, procking, but remember, with Naga out, I don't think he has Frond Whip. I mean, he hasn't showed all of his moves. If he has Frond Whip, that means he has no Shy Shield. And usually on settling Cerneefs, they do not run Frond Whip. So, if it has Frond Whip, awesome. It's going to be able to use that on a Naga switch when it gets to Seed Aura. I think... when you're running a Naga, most likely a Colosity Cerneef might be better because it's going to have Frond Whip and be able to use a 1 prio while Naga is in play. But with settling, I'm not sure. Usually people run Shy Shield. This is actually a tricky turn. So Golder is being switched out. Platimus coming in. So Golder has finally left the field. So Golder definitely got its value, by the way. Kinu being brought back in, trying to get some extra buffs onto Naga. I'm pretty sure it has to switch, right? No, it doesn't switch. It uses Psy Surge onto Nidrasil. So Nidrasil 72%, down to 44. And yeah, Toxic Ink should come through and get the kill here, right? Yeah, definitely with the Toxic Ink. So yeah, the Kinu buff not actually doing anything here. It's just a kind of Kinu switching, maybe to get to get Cernif in for a double Revitalize play, but like I said, if Kinu is not faster than Platimus, then Revitalize is not going to go off. And for Platimus, Aquatic Whirlwind is live, so if he brings in Cernif, Aquatic Whirlwind is definitely going to go first. Tricky turn. I think Plat... I'm trying to find a situation where Marn can win this game, but I think Plat just wins. There's no actual way to kill the Golder. Yeah, he has a 2-Vine to be able to use the Feather Gattlings, but realistically, if 2-Vine is against 2 Tems, it's not going to be able to kill Golder and live against a double, so... Yeah, and Aquatic Whirlwind on Yukama is still alive, so if any of the Tems go down, Nidrasil or Platimus, Plat doesn't have to switch. He could wait until Yukama gets brought in for free and then just use Aquatic Whirlwind. Same with Platimus. Platimus also has Aquatic Whirlwind for the Prio. So it's looking pretty rough for Marn Farmer. I think Plat has all the answers. And yeah, he brings in the Aquatic Whirlwind onto Cernif, bringing it down to 0, and yeah, if you did use Revitalize, I mean, you had to take the risk anyways. So Toxicate coming through. And killing the Kinu before it even uses an attack. So Nidrasil was faster than Kinu, which means Kinu doesn't have any speed. Pretty rough. So now it's 2-Vine versus the world, and I think we all know how that's going to work out. Golder making some plays, guys. Especially for a toxic team, I think Golder fits extremely well into Plat's team. Golder has been a meme for so long, just because of, oh, he's so slow, you can put him to sleep, you can do all of these things, but honestly, you can just put, oh, it has Sharp Rain on his Platimus, so something to know for later. Allergic Spread, and that should be the kill. That's going to be GG's, and yeah, Golder showcasing that is not something to mess around with. Plat takes game 1. Game number 2, looking at Alola on Ronin side, Vasi on to Paradox's side. So, like I was saying before, if you are watching, I'm always going to be spectating one side. So on this side, we're going to be spectating Ronin on the left, and then it's always going to be Paradox on the right to make it easier for you guys to understand who's playing who. So yeah, Ronin versus Paradox, Alola versus Vasi. First ban coming in, it's going to be Naga and Lawali getting the first ban on Alola's side. So, let's think about who he is going to want to choose. We pick the Barnshee, Alola picking the Barnshee, and Vasi is going to decide what 2 Tems to be able to deal with not only Barnshee, but whatever the counter pick is most likely going to be on Alola's side. Going with the Barnshee, most of these Tems do pretty well with it. Yukama, Mix, Grandpa, Monkey, and even Volarin. So picking the Cernif, Volarin, making sure that Volarin in the counter matchup, Orange wins the counter matchup between Volarin versus Volarin if it is Doppelganger. If it is not Doppelganger, then it will not. Sizemunch gets Water Cutting Lily. Grandpa gets Water Cutting Lily with a Noxious Bomb. And Mix can pretty much get put down to 50% with a Water Cutting Lily, and then be able to get dealt with whatever else. Gaialis only has Double Gash, and Yukama also gets dealt with. So not very good counter picks for Alola here. Even Volarin is pretty rough, because if it is Doppelganger, Volarin's going to win that matchup. So a very good 2 picks on Vasi's side, picking Cernif and Volarin to be able to deal with whatever the counter pick is going to be. He does decide to be Volarin, so let's see what kind of strats Alola has for this game. So, in my opinion, blue side counter pick didn't do as well as it normally does when you have a team that can deal with a lot of this stuff. So, Vasi getting the ban for Grandpa, and let's see how Vasi... He's trying to think of what he can't deal with and then try to get a ban off that. I don't think he can ban Kinu. He has to, yeah, I was about to say, he has to ban, I think, either Sizemunch or Whiplump, but I think Barnshee could deal with, Barnshee and Mix can deal with Sizemunch a little bit better, and also he still has Yukama, so I don't think he cares about the Sizemunch daily as much. But, yeah, I think Whiplump is definitely a problem. He doesn't have Cernif, he doesn't have any nature since Lawali's banned, so banning out Whiplump is definitely not a bad idea. Gauss being picked, and then picking Kinu. Obviously, if you can get that free Kinu on your bench, it's never bad. It's never bad to have Kinu. Getting Protector buff, having Hypnosis, having Stonewall when you have Naga matchups. Yeah, it's just so strong to have a Kinu on your team. So yeah, Kinu Giles, getting that Toxic Plume pressure as well with the Giles for minus attack. It would only be on Giles or the Size Bunch, so he picks Monkey and the Mix. I think Monkey is probably better here, just because he has the synergy with the Size Bunch Wreck, and he thinks so too. So, going in game number 2, Alola versus Vasi. Vasi is bringing out the Voldaren Cerneef, and on Alola's side, Barnshe Voldaren. So like I said in the pick ban phase, I think Vasi on orange side definitely had a really good team and a nice ban to be able to deal with whatever the counter pick was going to be on Alola's side. So if this is a Doppelganger Voldaren, then Vasi is going to win this matchup against this Voldaren here on Alola's side. If he Feather Gallings the Voldaren and then Hyperkinetic strikes the Voldaren, and this is not an anaerobic, then aerobic is going to kill the anaerobic Voldaren, or the other aerobic Voldaren onto Alola's side, because it's going to be a speed tie. So what's going to happen is if they both Feather Gatling and they both have the same speed, speed tie is going to flip over to Vasi's side, and then Hyperkinetic Strike is going to go first. Water Cutting Lily coming on through. Onto the Barnshe. Okay, so that's a fast Barnshe. So Feather Gatling going into Zeta, aerobic, and it is Doppelganger as well. So Hypoxia coming in onto the Cerneef side. Air Specialist, 49%, which means Tornado most likely is going to kill. So the Feather Gatling comes through as well, and it is Doppelganger, but it's aerobic. And let's see if Speed Tie switched. So Speed Tie did not switch, so that means Vasi's Voldaren is not max speed. And we kind of knew that because Barnshe, Hypoxia went before Vasi's. So this is actually really good for Alola. His Hyperkinetic has a good chance of killing here because it's aerobic, right? It has -1 special defense, so Hyperkinetic usually gets the kill here. But there is a chance it has so much HP that it actually doesn't die to the Hyperkinetic Strike. So Tornado onto Cerneef, and there's... I think it's really close. I don't know if Hyperkinetic kills the Voldaren here. It's not 100% because we know that it doesn't have full speed, which means that's a lot more HP investment into the Vasi's Voldaren. And also something to think about, like, if he wants to, he can actually Tornado the Voldaren here instead of Tornado the Cerneef, and switch out his Voldaren and save the Hyperkinetic for later. So he can do that too. Or if he really wants to, he can Hyperkinetic the Cerneef. The Cerneef should die, and Tornado will automatically kill the Vasi's Voldaren. So he has two different plays he can make. If he wants to sack his own Voldaren to get Hyperkinetic, then he can Hyperkinetic the Cerneef and then Tornado to make sure he gets both kills. And actually, that play might be better because if he Hyperkinetics the Cerneef, the Water Cutting Lily can't come through, right? And if he thinks his Voldaren's going to die to Hyperkinetic here, and he switches out, then he's going to get a free kill with a free Tornado. So it actually puts Vasi in a worse position if he decides to Hyper the Cerneef and Tornado the Voldaren here. And if he does decide to switch out, he could bring in Kinu. Kinu might make the Cerneef live, the Hyperkinetic, and he does switch out the Voldaren. So let's see what he decides to do. Kinu being brought in, like I was saying, and possibly making him live the Tornado. Hyperkinetic Strike going into the Kinu slot, 100 down to 56%, and Kinu did snare the Voldaren. So Tornado coming through. Let's see if +1 allows the Cerneef to live. It does live. Water Cutting Lily is definitely going on to the Barnshe, and Barnshe should be going down. Alright, there it is. Barnshe going down, and definitely a good play for Vasi. Cerneef still living, and Voldaren being here with only being able to use a Feather Gatling in order to not overexert. Definitely a strong play. Strong play for sure. So Doppelganger is off, which means the next Hyperkinetic shouldn't kill the Volar here. But yeah, I think it was a pretty good turn for Vasi. The only problem is Volarant on Alola's side is pretty weak. Or sorry. Alola's side, Volarant is still alive and he has no threat, right? He only has the Beta Burst here. So he can actually switch out and try to find a time to switch Volarant back in to get another Hyperkinetic with +2 speed, dealing even more damage. The Hyperkinetic is going to do a lot to Volarant. Even without the Doppelganger, it still has -1 special defense with +2 speed. It actually probably still kills with 62% HP with a Hyperkinetic. And also it's going to do a lot to Guileless and a lot to the Monkey. So if he wants to save... if he wants to save his Volarant, make sure it doesn't get Beta Bursted. -2 special defense. If it has any special attack investment on the Kinu, some people run like 100-ish. It's definitely going to kill the Volarant in my opinion. So let's see what happens here. Volarant being switched in to the Cerny slot and Toxic Plume being activated. So Toxic Plume coming in, minus attack onto the Kinu and the Volarant, and Turbo Choreography coming in. So because this is happening, that is a +3 speed and a spike on a Kinu. So he is sacrificing the Kinu in order to get the speed advantage on his own Volarant to be able to deal with the Volarant on Alola's side. So because this turbo is activated, this is actually really, really good. Yo, 8-Bit with the raid. Show some love to 8-Bit. Yo, if you guys haven't seen him, he has a baby team. It is sick. And yeah, let's get some hypes out in chat. Hypes out in chat. Make sure to give him a follow. So this Vasi Volarant is very, very scary. He now can kill the Volarant, which is very nice. And yeah. So with Volarant being able to use the Hyperkinetic onto the Volarant here, it puts him in a really weird spot with +3. And another thing to think about too is if he overexerts and stays in with his Volarant, he has Hyperkinetic. He has to switch this out so he can Hyperkinetic later if he deals with the Volarant. Seismunch coming through. Hyperkinetic Strike going in onto the Seismunch. It's going to do a lot of damage. As 60% HP with double screen. So heat up on the Monkey. And there's no Volphy to be able to deal with this. So this upcoming turn. So it is a Strange Vest on his Monkey as well. So it's going to be able to eat that 35%. And since it's heated up, he can just switch in his Guileless and Seismunch Wreck here, and it should kill this Monkey and the mix at the same time. So huge, huge tempo turn here. If he brings in his Volarant, he's going to be able to deal quite a bit of damage. It probably doesn't kill the Volarant, but it still puts it down to quite a low amount. And no matter what, either the Seismunch, Mix, or Guileless are going to die to the Seismunch Wreck. So very, very good turn for Vasi. Now Alola kind of has to make a decision. Who am I going to sacrifice, right? Am I going to sacrifice my Monkey? Am I going to sacrifice Guileless? Another thing to think about is this Monkey can also Seismunch Wreck. So this now depends on who is faster. When he took that Psysurge, that looked like a tanky Seismunch. It does have Strange Vest on, but now it depends who's going to have the most speed. Speed tie is in Alola's favor, so if they both don't have any speed and they're both tanky monkeys, then it's looking like it's going to be in favor of Alola. So Monkey is being swapped out. He's not going to take that risk. He knows he has a tanky Monkey. He's going to bring in the Surneef in case he has a faster Monkey. And I think this is going to be a Guile switch-in. Yeah, so he probably knew his Monkey was faster, so he was going to get his Seismunch Wreck off first. So definitely a good play. He goes into the Feather Gatling into the Guiles here. Seismunch Wreck is going to go off. And pretty good tank for both. He doesn't really care about his Surneef, so he's okay with this going down. Surneef going down, and then he can bring in his own Monkey now. And now he has control, right? If he keeps his Monkey out, then he can kill the Monkey and kill the Guiles. but also his Voloran has Hyperkinetic Strike available. So with +5 speed, even the mix probably dies in one shot, no matter how much HP or special defense it has. Definitely good here. I think Prodi Vasi definitely has a hold on this game. I'm almost positive you bring in the monkey here, then you switch Giles into Voloran slot and you wreck, right? Am I wrong? Yeah, I think that's the conclusion he came to. He was probably thinking like, what else do I have to do in order to secure this win, right? Because maybe he had to save the wreck, which is what he's thinking. Like maybe he has to save the wreck for another time. Maybe he has to kill a Tem, make sure Mix is the last one alive, because if Mix comes in on a death, that means Mix is going to be able to attack the monkey because Seismic Wreck is down. But if he brings in Giles and Rex here, that means he has a Crystal Bite available whenever something dies, so that Mix can't come in for free. Or he can just Hyperkinetic Strike into the monkey, which is exactly what he does. So, getting more aerobic procs. This is some, yeah, he's whittling down who is in play right now. Sharp Stab's coming into the monkey slot. Oh, no. Seismic Wreck also coming down. That's a dead Giles. So now it's Mix and Voloran. Okay, I don't know about this. This is pretty risky, guys. Hyperkinetic Strike is down. But he has... Hyperkinetic Strike is down. And Hyperkinetic Strike on Alola's side is available. He has to keep his Voloran alive because Feather Gatling did this much health, which means one Feather Gatling kills Alola's Voloran, which means he has to switch out the Voloran. He has to switch out Voloran for Giles here, and then if something dies, Voloran comes in, and if Hyperkinetic Strike is down, he can Feather Gatling and kill. A +2 against a +5, +5 2 prio is going to beat a +2 3 prio. But if Voloran Feather Gatling's here, +3 is going to beat a +5 if he uses a 2 prio. So this is kind of rough. I think Vasi might have gotten too greedy with using the Hyperkinetic Strike, and I think Marn Farmer has a good advantage in this game now. Yeah, he's gonna save it, so he Feather Gatlings into the monkey. And then he Crystal Spikes the Giles. Bring it down to 64%, and then right here, he has Hyperkinetic Strike available. He has +3, so now, because, remember, Vasi doesn't have full speed on his Voloran either, so even if it's supposed to... 5 speed is supposed to outspeed a 3 speed, he doesn't have Hyperkinetic Strike available, so Hyperkinetic Strike is going to go into Voloran, and then it's most likely going to be... he has to Hook Kick, and Hook Kick has to kill Voloran. If Hook Kick doesn't kill Voloran, because he needs Crystal Bite to kill Mix. He has to Hyper the Voloran. If he bites the Voloran here, because remember, Doppelganger's on Voloran, so War Drum should be on Gialis. He usually runs Doppel or War Drum. So now the question is, does Crystal Bite kill Mix, and does Hook Kick kill the Voloran? We know this is a low HP Voloran because of how much damage it took from the Feather Gatling from Vasi. Yeah, he has to Hyper the Voloran here. And then... alright, good luck everybody. Let's see who wins this game. What? Alright, so game number 3 is underway. And, yeah, it's going to be Kami versus Platt. And, yeah, yes, last game was pretty insane. There was a lot of back and forth in that game, but, yeah. Ronin happens to take game number 2 on that one. So, in this spot, Platt decides to ban out the Volorend. We all know Volorend is going to be the ban on a toxic team's side always, and Volorend is also the ban onto Platt's side. So, with Kami's team, it has Saku. Been seeing a lot of love with Saku. It also has Whip Lump with the wind damage as well, so he's going to have to pick Saku in this spot. It does well against Golder as well, but remember, Platt also has counter pick, so even though Golder is weak to wind, also this the Saku is also weak to toxic, so thinking what to use with the Saku to be able to cover the rest of the counter picks as well. If it's Volphy, I think this might be a Golder Naga. But we do know it's a Strange Vest Naga, right? Isn't that what we saw on the first game today? So if it's Strange Vest, that means not gonna be able to tank it as well. Because it's gonna be a Wind Burst to be able to break the Bamboozle, and then a Plague. Oh, if it's Giles, it's gonna be 100% Naga. Oh, it's 110% Naga. Unless I'm completely wrong. But this has to be Naga, right? There's no answer to Golder Naga here, right? Yeah, this is 110% Golder Naga, and this is a huge advantage for Platt in this situation. Guaranteed. In the spot, he can Bamboozle Madness buff, and then he can Toxic Ink and Psy-Surge the Gialis, and I'm pretty sure it dies. He doesn't really have to worry about Saku in this spot, because Naga should be able to carry this game once it gets this Madness buff off. Alright, so the Tuvine gets banned, and the Whiplup gets banned. Ninja still coming on through. Kami's picking Nidrasil and Kinu, okay. And Giles Platimus. Yeah, he already knew exactly what he was going to have to use after picking up that Naga. He just has to have the support to be able to kill pretty much anything after... Like, he doesn't have to focus the Saku slot at all. I think Naga was banned in the first game, so we don't know the item. It can be Platimus or Volphy. And in the spot, it's... I think it's pretty close on both. But yeah, alright. Picks are done. Platt coming in with Golder Naga. And we have Kami coming in with Saku Gialis. So I think in this spot, Platt has a huge advantage. This is the easiest Bamboozle Madness buff of his life, just because he has Double Gash. We're also probably going to see what item Platt has on turn 1 if it does get doubled into. So Golder making more debuts, showing off insane gameplay. Golder, guys. Everybody buy your Golders now before the stocks go up. Go, go, go. Yo, can somebody buy me a Golder? I need a Golder, dude. I need the, I don't even know which one I need. Because I think after this series, people are going to be playing more Toxic comps with Golder. So maybe the Toxic one is probably better. Yeah, I don't know how Kami's supposed to play turn 1 here. Because Naga's getting set up no matter what, so now it's like, what's your answer, right? You keep Giles in order to get the Crystal Bite off. So does that mean you need to bring in Kinu so you can Stonewall before the Psy-Surge? But that's not possible because Naga's always slower. And so is the Golder, so... yeah. So okay, Giles, show us your Crystal Spikes. Kappa Kappa. More people play toxic comps and then complain about turbo teams. I'm done. So the Seed Aura, toxic ain't coming in, so not even gonna bamboozle because he knows there's no threat. Windburst coming in, so that's showing that Saku is gonna be slower than Naga. Madness buff going off. And Double Gash coming on through just in case it was the bamboozle turn. So on this turn, Psy Surge kills the Saku, and Bamboozle blocks whatever Guy Alice does. So unless this Guy Alice has Drill, okay, we don't know what item it has. So it's not War Drum, right? So it has a chance, if it's Drill, he's okay. Then Naga doesn't carry the game. But if it's not Drill, there are ways that Giles can use Drill, right? It has to use Hook Kick against a Volphy, and Volphy usually uses Bush, right? So it's not impossible for Giles to have Drill here. And Kami likes running a lot of really different stuff, so. But yeah, if he doesn't have Drill, this game is going to be absolute hell for Kami. Like, I don't really know how he's going to be able to deal with this startup. So usually the two items Giles has is Doppelganger and War Drum. And I think with how long it's taken Kami to make this turn, there's no way it's Drill. Because he would have spam clicked that Crystal Bite so quick. It's looking like he's probably going to have to kill the Golder. And who does he want to take the Psy Surge? Psy Surge definitely kills Saku here, so. Yeah, he's in a really rough spot. It's definitely not Drill. He would have clicked it already. See, the thing is, if you switch, right, you're going to put more Tems down into one-shot range from the Naga's Beta Burst, right? And you don't want that. So, like, do you just let Saku die? Whoa! He doesn't have Psy Surge? So maybe Plat doesn't have Psy Surge. Alright, so a lot of, I'm just completely wrong. Alright, so we have, yeah, most likely if you're not going to run Psy Surge there, like if you're not going to use it, like it's usually because you don't have it. I think if he Psy Surge Saku, it would kill Saku with the Madness buff, and then Bamboozle from Golder. Bamboozle from Golder would have just saved the Naga. So we did see Harmful Lick in game 1, so maybe Golder doesn't even have Bamboozle, but I feel like if you're running a Naga comp, you just kind of need Bamboozle on your Golder, right? So, I mean, it's either he doesn't have Psy Surge or he doesn't have Bamboozle. I don't know. It's probably one of the two. Because I feel like if you have both of those, you would just use it and get the kill there. Unless he thought Giles had Drill. So. So, okay, Kami's not in a terrible spot anymore. He still has answers to the Naga. The Saku's still alive. So it's not that bad of a situation. I still think he's in an okay spot. I still think Plat is in a pretty good spot overall, but we'll definitely see. Aquatic Whirlwind going into the Gaialis, bringing it down 30%. And Hook Kick bringing it down to 4.4. So Crystal Bite, Hook Kick not getting the kill there. But Gaialis does have Sharp Stab. So Gaialis on Plat's side can definitely Crystal Bite the Gaialis. I think we saw Doppelganger. We saw Doppelganger on the first game, right? It's so hard to remember because I remember seeing Doppelganger on a Gaialis. I just don't remember if it was game 1 or game 2. Kami switches out the Gaialis, bringing in Platimus. Most likely tank that Crystal Bite. Here it comes, Crystal Bite into the Platimus. That is an HP defense with Rock Shield. If I've ever seen one in my entire life, it's absolutely HP defense. Allergic Spread coming in, killing the Platimus, and getting the Toxic Ticks onto Gaialis. So, pretty good turn for Kami, I'd say. Tanking exactly what it needs to onto the Platimus, and then Ninjasil coming on in. So, pretty good turn. I think what could be a pretty good turn for Kami to get back into this is if Saku can get a Revitalize. Like, if Kinu can revitalize Saku, get a Lifeful Sap off as well without taking damage on that turn, he could then get back to full and be able to tank some damage. Right now, he has to think about, okay, he needs to buff whatever is going to kill Naga, right? So is that going to be Nidrasil or is that going to be Gaialis? And I think Nidrasil might be that answer. So on Plat's side though, Gaialis is going to be switched out into the Golder. This is a Spore's turn, right? Aquatic Bullet Hell going into the Golder, tanking some good damage. Spores from Nidrasil onto the Golder, getting the heal for the Tri-Apothecary. So really good turn here. And also Nidrasil on Kami's side is going to do the same thing. So definitely good plays here. So in this spot, right? They're both at a stalemate, right? Nidrasil and Golder against Nidrasil and Platimus, it's just a stalemate. Like, they can't really do anything to each other. So right now, it's all about buffing your Tems, getting the Bark Shield down. So, like I was saying before, Kami has to figure out what's going to kill the Naga. Okay, well, what's going to kill Naga? It's got to be Nidrasil or the Gaialis, most likely, right? So you have to get some buffs on them. You could also use Platimus, but it only has you Rush Heal for the toxic damage. And it doesn't have special defense. So it's probably better to run the Nidrasil here. He's going to be running Bark Shield. If he runs Bark Shield, he could actually click Bark Shield into Kinu. Because this is going... You Rush Shield. Ooh. Yo, look at that toxic damage. Look at all the Toxic Ticks, dude. That's like, what, 6 turns of Toxic Ticks? Here we go, baby. This is what we live for. Yeah! Yeah, baby! Let's go, dude. Look at all that damage. Alright. So double into Nidrasil and double into Nidrasil on Kami's side. And the reason why is because Nidrasil can Spores the other 10, but he can't Spores itself for the 3 turns of rejuvenation, right? So here it's, I mean, if he thinks it's gonna double into Nidrasil again, he could actually Bark Shield and bring in Kinu so that it has the defense for Gaialis, and it might be that turn. Alright, Kinu, okay. Now if he Bark Shields here, it gets the extra defense onto Kinu so that these Toxic Inks aren't going to do as much damage towards it. So let's see if Plat read it and he's going to actually go into Kinu. So he does Bark Shield, getting extra defenses. Really strong. And then Toxic Ink onto the Nidrasil. So he didn't read the Kinu, which makes Kinu very valuable here. He needs to get Nidrasil in order to get buffed up. Needs it to also get some buffs off. So if I was Kami here, I would think, okay, well, he wants to kill the Kinu. Obviously, sitting here attacking this Nidrasil isn't going to be able to do much. It should be a double Toxic Ink into the Kinu slot, right? So he could switch back in Platimus, in order to tank that damage. And then back into Spores onto Platimus as well. Alright, so Guile's coming on through. Toxic Ink coming into the Guile slot. And Stonewall coming in. Stonewall is still faster than Golder. Oof. Toxic Ink coming into the Kinu, getting all those Toxic ticks going. 50%. So it's going to die to one more Toxic Ink on a Kinu. So Stonewall and the Guileless. So like I was saying, Guileless and Nidrasil are like the two ways to be able to kill Naga here. If you can keep these at pretty healthy amounts of health, it's going to be nice. So now they have to think. Do you want to get another buff before you revitalize with Kinu? Or do you just want to revitalize and die here? Wait, Kinu's slow. No. It was a 1 prio, so that's why Nidrasil's Toxic Ink went off first. Yeah, I guess that's the decision. Does he want an extra +1 or does he want to heal whatever is going into the Guile slot? Whether it's Guileless or it's going to be Nidrasil. I think you want another +1 buff. So you're going to have to find another turn to get a Kinu in without taking damage in order to get an extra Revitalize off with the buff as well. The health is definitely what you need. So the Revitalize is more important than the buff. But if you can get both, that's where it could be a way to win the game. But he doesn't decide to. He decides to revitalize the Guileless, making sure that it can Crystal Bite more often. Man, that Bark Shield is disgusting. Toxic Ink coming on through, killing the Kinu, and I don't know how he's going to kill Nidrasil or Golder. I don't know how he's going to do it. They're tanky boys. I don't know how he's going to do it. He has Saku, but that means he has to get Lifeful Sap and a Revitalize off on him, but he can't, so... I don't know, man. All Plat has to do is Toxic Ink Guileless with Nidra and Toxic Ink Nidra with Golder every single turn so that Saku cannot see play. That's all he has to do. And it should be GG. I mean, that's a way to heal. This is definitely a way to heal. Definitely a way to heal. Yeah, Guileless is definitely going to be the way for him to be able to have a chance to win this game. Yo, Gwynevin, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Peace and love. Man, that Bark Shield is dirty. No joke, if he had Bark Shield on his Nidrasil and he Bark Shielded that Kinu, it could have got an added Revitalize, it could have got an extra Kinu buff because it could have came in on a Toxic Ink because it wouldn't deal as much damage. Man, I don't think he has it. Double Gash onto the Nidra, Toxic Ink 22 down to 12. Not bad. 46, 34. 34-23, so 11% from Golder and 12% from Nidra off of each Toxic, which means Nidra should live with like 1 HP roughly, like 1%ish. So Guileless does have some defense buffs, but Guileless on Plat's side, it most likely will have Doppelganger because it doesn't have War Drum. Which means Guileless will be able to kill the Kami's Guileless here, like later on. There's no way for Nidrasil to heal. And that's kind of a problem, right? So, man. Nidra's such a good Tem. I think if you get some support for Revitalizes, just like what people were doing with Cerneath and Kinu and what we saw yesterday with Pranian, if you get more Revitalizes into the game, maybe having Saku and Nidrasil and these two other, like, these types of Tems might be really strong. So, Allergic Spread going off, double Poison Immunity, and it overexerts! Alright, so it is the brawny type. It doesn't have the added. So when it's toxic teams like this, right? Toxic versus toxic, Golder tanking that damage is actually better. Alright, so the reason why he didn't Psy Surge is because Golder most likely doesn't have Bamboozle, right? We haven't seen all the moves, but we haven't seen him click Bamboozle once this game. So if he has Bamboozle, awesome. That means he can kill Nidrasil right now. But if he doesn't have Bamboozle, then it would make sense. I think it's one or the other. Either no Psy Surge or no Bamboozle. Yeah, so he Beta Bursts into the Nidrasil, getting that kill. Did he rest his Golder? Rush Shell coming through, only doing the damage, no Toxic Hit because Nidrasil died. So Golder did rest. I'm pretty sure the Golder... I don't know, man. I don't know. Alright, so Saku... Toxic Ink Golder is going to kill the Saku before Naga gets hit. So... Rush is not going to be able to kill Naga here either. So... I guess let's see. Let's see if it has Psy Surge. Because this is a Toxic Ink turn onto Saku for sure. And then he could Beta Burst Platymus instead of Psy Surge. Just to save Psy Surge for the Giles. Toxic Ink coming through, killing the Saku before it's able to hit the Naga. If Rushel hits Naga, it's going down to just a little bit. So yeah, Beta Burst coming in, 81. 21%. Rushel coming through. 40 down to 17. So one more Urushiel and he is going to die, but it's just too much, man. This guy Alice is going to be able to kill this guy Alice due to Doppelganger, I'm pretty sure. But I'm pretty sure they're both Doppel, so... He does have Bamboozle, but he doesn't have Psy Surge, right? Yeah, I don't think he has Psy Surge, but we'll see, I guess. Yeah, I was like, there's no way Plat's Golder does not run Bamboozle, man. Like, there's just no way. I don't think it has Psy Surge. I think that was the reason why he didn't. He had to not have one of the other, right? So that means Wind Burst would have went off, and then Crystal Bite would have went off. That's the reason why he couldn't do that, because Psy Surge wouldn't have been able to go off. Or Beta Burst wouldn't have been able to go off, I mean. I just want to see if Psy Surge is on it. I think it's... I don't think it's Lullaby. So what would he have, right? Toxic ain't coming through. 61. Golder Overexertion. Naga's Fury. Let's see how much damage this does. Boom. 1% left on Giles. Oh, Golder's got Rock Shield. Oh my goodness. Yo, Bark Shield's pretty good, guys. Bark Shield is pretty good. Yeah, it's definitely Doppelganger. Let's see if Giles has it as well. I'm pretty sure it does. Let's see. Yeah. Also, his Giles has it. So GG's, Plat taking game number 3, making it a 1-2 series. Alright, game number 4, we got Buff Duck versus Arkham. Let's go! So 2 new teams that we're going to be discovering on both teams. So again, left side is always going to be Ronin, and then on right side is going to be Paradox. So Buff Duck is coming in with the Babawa, the Golder, the Barnshee, the Mooflink, and we got Arkham with the Double Fire with Naga Grumper. Pretty... So, like we were saying before, when you run Naga Raise, you kind of have 2 different team compositions, right? Like, if you have Naga, it's good, right? You have the Grumper. Grumper's also good by itself against win comps, which, looking here, it's kind of almost like that, right? They have Barnshee, they have Volarin. So, Grumper's going to do alright against them. And then, Yeah, when you have Raze, you still do really well with the Trakash, you do well with the Volarin, Gaialis, Volphi, all of those Tems as well. So it's not just a centralized Naga team or a centralized Raze team, it's both of them kind of put together so that if they ban Naga, you have a really good Raze variation, and if they ban Raze, you have a really good Naga variation. So this team's been running around a little bit. Not a lot of people have picked it up, but when people have picked it up, it's shown pretty good results. So Kinu being banned, and Buff Duck deciding what he wants to choose for his counter pick. Volphi's being banned on his side, which does pretty well against the a lot of Tems on Arkham's side, so it makes a lot of sense. Also, Drakash gets countered pretty hard by Volphi just because he has two AoE attacks, and his one-hold moves are both AoE. It's Sandstorm and Hellfire, so until it gets Fire Tornado, which is a two-hold, it can't really deal with Volphi very well because it only has Mud Shower. So the first pick is going to be Mooflink. It's kind of like a bait, right? It kind of baits out the Naga because it's the only mental type on Arkham's side. That means if he goes Naga, he doesn't want to run Raze with it. So I think Buff Duck's okay with that. I think he's trying to bait out the Naga Grumper. Decides on Volarin and Naga. And yeah, I was about to say, that's pretty hard Grumper pick for sure. Buff Duck doesn't have Naga, but it does have Golder, right? So if the enemy is playing Golder, Buff Duck's completely okay with that. He's using Golder as a counter towards the Naga, right? Because his Toxic Inks are going to be going off first, his Bamboozles are going to be going off first. So he's allowing the enemy to give his own team a buff, right? So not a bad plan. He can Beta Burst on turn 1 if he wants into the Mooflink, but that means it's going to be left out in order to tank a Toxic Ink from Golder. So the next ban is going to be Volarin on the Buff Duck side, and Buff Duck is going to decide what he doesn't want to deal with. I think Raze is out of the question. There's no need to ban Raze here because he has Naga already, right? You normally don't want to run Naga and Raze on the same team at the same time. You could run it on the same team, but you usually only pick one or the other. So he's trying to think, since he knows there's not going to be Raze, most likely not going to be a Raze, that means Drakash isn't going to have Hellfire synergy. So he probably doesn't care about Raze or Drakash, so now he has to think about Gaialis, Volphi, or Grumper. He's going to think about which one does the most. Grumper does pretty well against the Banshee and the Babawa. But he does decide to go with the Gaialis. That makes a lot of sense too. He wants to make sure Mix can have a pretty good play here, and he also has Volcrane that can do well against this team as well. So pretty good decision in my opinion. And Conspira? I'm just gonna say Conspira. Conspira, thanks for the follow, I love it. Thank you so much for the support. So Volphi, Grumper coming in, Babawa. We're gonna see some Babawa. Look at that smirky little smile, dude. Those little 4 teeth. Hell yeah, let's go. And then we got Grumper, Volphi, and he's gonna try to think about. Yeah, I think Mix definitely can see play here. I don't think he's gonna pick Banshee. I don't think Banshee does well against this. Yo, Senju, thanks for the follow, man. Thank you for the support. He does decide to pick Banshee, so picking Banshee here, it's mainly going to be using the Beta Bursts and such, and the wind damage against Volarin if it has -1, if possible. It's not here to win the game, but it's going to be here to chip down some damage. And your cash being picked up, so teams are locked in, and here we go. Buff Duck versus Arkham. Arkham bringing in the Volarin and Naga. And on Buff Duck's side, he's bringing in the Mooflink with the Golder. So, I haven't calculated this before, And also Saber, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Hell yeah. Get those follows in if you want to watch some Club Wars. We're going to be trying to watch as many games as possible. Sometimes the games overlap, so we can't watch and commentate all of them, but we'll try. Hopefully we can get some things situated where everybody's always on a different day or even a different time. If I can do an all-day thing on a Saturday where one is at 1 p.m. and then one is at 7 p.m. Eastern, then that would be sick, but we don't have control over that. The way that Club Wars works is both teams are matched up against each other, and then they talk to each other in a chat, and they decide what team works best for both teams, and then they play on that day. Alright, so Strange Vest on Naga, going into the Toxic Ink. Beta Burst coming into the Move Flank. 100 to, it's going to do a lot. 48%, so not as much as I thought it would. Base Jump into the Volarin, though. And Feather Galling into Golder. That did quite a bit. 64% on a big fat Golder. Oof. Yo, that's a Sweatband Volarin, and it's anaerobic. It's an anaerobic Volarin on Arkham's side. Wow. Okay, so Beta Burst is going to kill Move Flank again, right? Or if he goes again, right? Toxic Ink doesn't kill. What game is this? Teamfight Tactics? No, it's FIFA, bruh. Alright, so Bamboozle going on to Move Flank, and because of that, Beta Burst doesn't come through, which is really strong, and Base Jump onto Volarin. So, the fastest Tem on the field is actually the Volarin, which is pretty shocking, honestly. So, if he wants to, he can... Oh, the Notice proc. So, he wants to kill the Naga. If he Toxic Inks Naga here, Naga dies. So, this is a pretty good time to either switch the Move Flank, because the Toxic Tick is going to kill the Naga. If he wants Move Flank to live because it has +1 speed, if the Naga dies here and he switches out the Move Flank, it can be brought back in and start wreaking havoc on everything. Once one Unnoticed proc gets used on Move Flank, it's always going to go first. Goring and Base Jump have extremely high damage here. And, yeah. Execution. Execution's a 3-hold, though. He has to wait one more turn for Execution. And he's not going to live to... Oh, wait. Base Jump kills Volarin. He can Bamboozle, but then Golder dies. Wait, Golder or Move Flank die. Wait, both die. No, Beta Burst attacks first. Wait, no. Move Flank got the +1 speed, so Volarin is actually slower than Move Flank. Monka, It's a 50-50 now for Buff Duck. It's either Naga switches out because he doesn't want to get Toxic Inked, right? If that's the case, then Move Flank can stay in, right? So he can trade Naga for Golder and Move Flank, which is probably a better option. But if Move Flank switches out and Toxic Ink hits Naga, Lullaby! Oh no. Wait, Lullaby is slower than Naga. Oh, the energy drink! Oh no! Wait, Naga has 1 HP left! What the fuck? Wait a second, dude. Oh my god. Okay. He doesn't have a slow enough Tem. Okay, he's gonna have to switch out Move Flank to take damage from the... Wait, Guys, was that an overexertion from Naga or was that exact stamina? I didn't actually check. Oh no, I didn't check, guys. I'm an idiot. I didn't check. He has to switch out the move link. He has to use move link to carry this game. That's a huge turn for Buff Duck though. If he can keep move link alive. See, if Naga overexerted to use Lullaby, right? I don't think it did. If it overexerted, that means... I don't think it overexerted. So now he has to switch out move link. Because he's going to use Naga's Fury here. Or Beta Burst. I think Naga's Fury would overall be a better answer. But if he brings in Babawa... Damn. Volarin uses Noxious Bomb before Barnshee uses Beta Burst onto it. Which means Volarin lives because it has +1 special defense. So it's going to be a Noxious Bomb, Barnshee, and a Naga's Fury, I think. Or a Beta Burst into Barnshee. Whatever, I think whatever does more damage to Barnshee. It most likely will be Naga's Fury though. So he brings out Babawa. Wait, if he brings out Babawa, shouldn't you Noxious Bomb? Ooh, it's a switch. It's a switch. Drakash comes in. Mix gets switched in. Okay. Naga's Fury comes through. Does this put him into Puppet Master? No. Okay, not even close. Okay. I was a little confused for a second. Hypoxia coming through onto the Drakash. I mean, it tanked pretty well. 67% left is pretty good in my opinion. But now with Mix down to 64, there's a lot of things that can kind of bring it down to what it needs to be. So remember, Hellfire is not going to have synergy. Mud Shower doesn't kill here from Grumper, right? There's no way. But the Thunder Strike onto Barnshee is definitely going to kill. It's actually tricky. This game's really tricky. His Drakash shouldn't be faster, but it can't die this turn. Drakash can't die to Barnshee Mix double in. He doesn't have Volphy, so Drakash can use Hellfire for free. And Grumper doesn't have any holds, so it can only use Mud Shower and Thunder Strike. I think Thunder Strike onto Barnshee is pretty obvious. And Babawa is going to get swapped in. Alright, so Tornado goes into Drakash. This is going to do like 38%-ish. Yeah, it brings it, 36%. Down to 31 with the double screen. Hellfire coming through. Makes a lot of sense. Babawa being nature and water takes an okay amount of damage. And Thunder Strike going into the Barnshee. That's 110% dead. That's like 290% dead. That Thunder Strike is definitely going to kill. Alright, so with Babawa coming in here... Movelink is very fast. Does he want to use it now, is the question. He can bring in, he can start base jumping and killing everything. I don't... He can't die this turn. Okay, that's a good thing. So Mooflink can't die to Grumper's attacks here, right? So now the question is, do you need to kill the Grumper now? And I think the answer is yes. So if you base jump Grumper, or Goring Grumper if you need the extra damage, right? And you Water Cutting Lily, I think that's going to kill. He has to kill the Grumper. Because the electric damage is going to do okay against Babwa, and I think it might kill. I think it might kill. It's actually pretty close. With Hellfire doing 68, Hellfire has a decent amount of damage. Actually, yeah, Thunderstrike kills for sure. So if he can kill the Grumper here, that's pretty good. And Drakash doesn't do much anymore. It kind of did what it needs to kill the mix with a Hellfire or a Sandstorm. So he has the AoE with Drakash, but remember, it doesn't have Prio, so Mix can't kill with energy manipulation, and it can't kill with Spike onto Drakash. So he's going to have to save Drakash for later. But at the same time, he doesn't want Grumper to die, but Grumper kind of did what he had to do. Base jump onto the Drakash. Okay. So he doesn't care about the Babwa here. He's just going to let the Water Cutting Lily do its damage. And if he Thunder Strikes it, then it's okay. Oh, he's doing it on the Mooflink. Wait. Buff is in a really good position here, right? So this isn't Unductor. He's gonna rest this turn. If you don't kill Grumper, it has Coward's Rest. Now the question is, do you need to save? So Wolfie just came in, right? So it only has Plague. It's gonna Plague the Mooflink. If you bring in Mix, Plague brings Mix to Puppet Master, right? And then you kill the Grumper. Yeah, I think that's the play, right? If he plagues Mooflink, you can bring in Mix, get Puppet Master. And then you Water Cutting Lily, kill the Grumper. Volerin comes in, Spike should be able to kill the Volerin, or get really close. Ooh, okay, he's gonna go for the Goring though. Plague onto the Mooflink. Water Cutting Lily kills the Grumper, okay. So, the thing about this though is Mix is gonna come in, but now Dust Vortex is available, and I don't think you can kill Wolfie before it attacks, right? Water Cutting Lily and Energy Manipulation shouldn't kill. Maybe though, Water Cutting Lily does do a lot. Unless, yeah, I don't think... But, okay. This is weird, right? A Babwa can't kill Volerin. So if you don't kill Volerin... Like, okay, if you can't kill Mix with a double in, right? That means you have to kill Volerin so that Babwa can attack Wolfie, right? But if you can... So Spike goes off. 1% Volerin. Did he attack Volerin here? He has to kill Volerin. Okay, so he kills the Volerin here. That's what he needed. But Dust Vortex kills Mix. But Babawa can't die to Volphy. I've never seen many Babawas, so I'm literally a little questionable on every decision here, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he can't kill. Like, he has Plague and Dust Vortex, and I'm pretty sure Babawa is... can't die to that. So I'm pretty sure Babawa wins, right? I mean, nature damage does a lot to him. Like, it's even damage, right? I don't know. Plague does even damage. So I guess it depends. How much damage does Plague do? I think Volphy wins as well. Everyone in chat is saying Babawa wins, but I don't think it does. If Babawa has withdrawal, it wins? What, so it rests right here? So it gets plagued, and then it heals, and then it water cutting lilies twice? But that means it has to be faster than Volphy, and I don't think that's true either. He rests here, right? Yeah, he rests here, gets withdrawal. Exhaust goes away. Wait, what? He didn't get the hell. Yeah, Babawa loses. Unless this kills, but absolutely doubtful. Yeah, GG. Babawa dies. It's not faster. Plague wins the game. Plague wins the game. GG. Paradox taking another game. They're up 3-1. Alright, game number 5 coming in. We got Ronin versus Paradox, and we have Zuxo versus Shiroki. So in these matches, these are the first time we're showing off these teams in this Club War match. And on Zuxo's side, we have Naga, we got Monkey, Saku, Grumper. We got a lot of the stuff that we saw last week. We saw Saku doing extremely well for Zuxo. And on Shiroki's side, we got some Acronox plays, some Calibus. Two Tems that are very underrated, but I think that are very, very strong. And then we also have the Yukama to be able to synergize with the Acronox very well. And then we also have Naga. So Naga Calibus is super, super, super strong. I've played with Naga Calibus quite a bit. I think it's really strong. So let's see how Shiroki enjoys playing this type of team comp. It might do not as well against Volan and Saku, just the Calibus period, because of Hyperkinetic Strike and how much damage Saku does when it comes to wind damage, but we'll see. Volan being banned on Shiroki's side, and it most likely will be a Volan or a Saku ban on Zuxo's side. I think those are probably the two Tems that are going to cause the most trouble, I think. And Shiroki thinks the same thing. He decides to ban the Volan, and Zuxo's picking up Cernif. And here comes Yukama Acronox with the Naga. So he knows that this is most likely going to be coming out. So he picks the Naga. People are doing the strat with Yukama and Acronox, but with Naga coming into play here, it makes it to where now Acronox is now going to go before Yukama. So normally what people are doing with Yukama Acronox is going to be faster, or sorry, Water Cannon is going to be faster than a... I always forget what the move is called. Venom Spread. So that Water Cannon goes off, applies 2 ticks of poison, Venom Spread comes in, Venom Spread the unit, and then it does a ton of toxic damage, right? But now, with seeing that Yukama is now going to be slower than the Acronox because of Naga, it's going to be a little bit different. Unless it's a mind game and he picked it to make Naga come in, and actually he has 2 slow Tems, so Water Cutting Lily is actually going to go last, so it goes first. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. So Naga's being banned, and the Grumper was banned on Zuxo's side. So Monkey being picked up. Yeah, Calibus... I mean, Saku's getting picked, right? It's going to be Saku Kinu. on Zuxo side, right? Then you don't really have much against this Kinu. On Shiroki's side, though. Dang, wait. This is gonna be rough. Kinu's gonna have a field day. If he goes Saku Kinu, which typically would be the pickup right here, then Kinu kind of just switches in and out whenever the hell he wants. It's gonna have no pressure. Yeah, he does pick the Saku Kinu. I think Kinu Shiroki is gonna be so strong in this matchup. Nothing's gonna be able to just like kill it, right? Like obviously you're gonna have to chip damage it, and that's gonna be rough. So teams are locked in. Zuxo versus Shiroki. Shiroki bringing in Yukama and Acronox on turn 1. And on Zuxo's side, we have Cernif and Naga. Alright, alright, alright. So in this situation, as Ricky God, oh my gosh. So Naga's in play. Sting is gonna have to be the attack that Acronox chooses if he wants to pick a move, and the reason why is because Venom Spread is gonna go before Yukama if this Naga is the Desidara. So not able to do exactly what he wants to do with the Water Cannon Venom Spread. But if he wants to, he can use Sting onto the Naga. If it has Cobweb, which usually it will, it's going to lock it in place. And then he could Water Cannon the Cernif. So it is the Desidara. Yukama's being switched out. And Calibus being brought in. So Calibus is slower than a Naga. Beta Burst going on to the Acronox. That's a lot of damage. Wait, is Water Cutting Lily going to kill here? No, it does not. Okay, 18%. And we're going to see the Sting with the Strange Vest. And it's going to lock it down. So with that Poison Tick, Calibus with full attack, it's going to be really close with Strange Vest. It's going to be really close that Calibus just kills here. I think it lives with, after the Poison Tick, I think it lives with like 2% HP. It's really close. Strange Vest might save it. I think he has to save his Acronox though. He can still use the Yukama Nyx situation later on in the game to kill Cernif. Yeah, this is going to be really close. A lot of people are running the HP attack variant of Calibus just because it has such high attack, and they're pretty much using it to pretty much win situations like this against Cernif and against Naga. It just does so well. So let's take a look at what other options he can choose if he wants to switch out Cernif. So if he wants to, he can switch out Cernif and bring in Kinu, allowing for Naga to be able to live the situation 100%. Let's see what he decides to do. So Acronox being switched out, definitely better in my opinion. And then Kinu coming in to buff up the Calibus. Most likely going to be the win condition. Intoxicant coming through. 19%. So Strange Vest definitely survives, or helps it survive, right? Toxic Tick bringing it down to about 7% HP. Water Cutting Lily coming through. Onto the Calibus. And it is not Botanophobia. So good that he has a loneliness trait here. Settling Cernif is on Zuxo. So the longer it stays in, the more damage it's going to do. But it's hard to deal damage when they have a Calibus in play, right? So, Calibus does attack first before Naga, so he can't stay in if he wants more attacks unless he uses a 1 prio move. Lullaby won't do much because Kinu is mental, and we don't know the item on Calibus. Some people run energy drink on it because it's so slow, and Lullaby won't be able to do much to it. I think Shiroki's in a pretty good spot here. Kinu coming in, buffing up the Cerny. He wants to keep gaining those settling procs, so he's just going to buff and do what he can. Same with Shiroki. He's trying to get that Calibus up and running. Toxic Ink going on to Kinu, bringing it down to 61. It snares whatever item was on Calibus, so if it did have Energy Drink, it does not have it anymore. And yeah, so one more Toxic Ink, and Kinu should be going down. So in this spot, Stonewall can't be used first because Calibus most likely will attack. It's a pretty defensive Kinu because it did not take a lot of damage from this Toxic Ink. Revitalize coming down, bringing Calibus back to full HP. Revitalize coming off, going into the Kinu slot, keeping it alive from this Toxic Ink. And this should be a Stonewall on Cerny. Yeah, there it is. So the Revitalize is keeping Kinu safe here. Keeping it alive, and now Cerny is +4/+2. Pretty good. It's going to be able to tank all those Toxic Inks. And the only thing it's going to have to worry about is the Acronox Venom spread with the Yukama Toxic Tick that people are using. So it's going to be Calibus versus Cerny at the end most likely. I would want to favor Calibus, but we all know that turn 30 is a thing and Calibus cannot heal itself. So if it is a 1v1, Cerny can keep using Revitalize and Bush, probably healing all the damage away, and Calibus being ticked down if it was a 1v1 to like 70%, so that turn 30, Cerny is able to get back to, you know, 100% HP and still be able to win the game. And with the special defense going up with Bush here, it's yeah, so the win condition for Zuxo is here. Beta Burst coming in onto Size Munch just in case he was going to use the Bush synergy. Size Munch going down to 66% with Double Screen and Toxic Ink coming through. So Shiroki doing what he has to do to chip down all of Zuxo's Tems so that he can turn it into a 3v1 Cerny situation, which is what is going to be needed in order to win the game. If Kinu can just use Hypnosis on Cerny, he can then heal and bring Calibus back into play, and then start killing the Cerny over and over, using the Stonewalls on the previous turn afterwards, and kind of getting what he needs to be able to turn the 1v3 Cerny to not be able to win the game. Shiroki has a healthy Kinu, which is definitely going to be a decider, in my opinion, in this matchup. If Shiroki can kill the Kinu on Zuxos, then he's not going to be able to get the Revitalizes off, he's not going to be able to get more Stonewalls or even more Protector buffs. So, but on Shiroki's side, he has the Protector buffs enabled, so looking pretty good for Shiroki. So Calibus is in a spot where he can't really use any moves, unless he wants to overexert. So he could rest here instead of using Toxic Ink. But if he does that, that means a Revitalize is going to be going off. Wait. Wait. We're waiting. Now what? We're still waiting. I need water, man. After this game, I'm gonna chug a water. Dude, when you're casting and you're talking this much, man, whew. Whew. Tile. Tail. 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 Wait. You wanna know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Abe's Odyssey, dude. I don't know. Wait. Dude, if you play that game back on the PlayStation days, you had a good childhood. Follow me. Follow me. Wait. We're still waiting. Alright, so Kinu being brought in, getting that +5/+5 Surnif activated. And let's see what happens. Maybe he overexerts. Wait, why would you Shy Shield? You're... Oh, I mean, I guess it's the same thing as resting. I mean... Ooh, the water jet keeps it alive. I don't think the monkey would have stayed in, right? I don't think the monkey was going to stay in. If it stayed in, it wouldn't deal any damage, right? So, I mean, I understand you want it dead right then and there, but keeping this Kinu alive for an extra turn or two, oof. Because now it can revitalize itself, right? But then it dies to Toxic Ink because Calibus does about 53% on one Toxic Ink turn, but it's overexerted. So Kinu can now revitalize itself with no punishment here, which definitely is favorable for Zuxo. Yeah, he knows it. He buffs up the Kinu 35% due to that Stonewall coming in, and Kinu's just going to keep buffing up all of his Tems to make sure that he can deal with the Surnif. If it turns into a 2v1, or sorry, a 1v2 or a 1v3, this Surnif is not going to be able to carry the game, especially with all the buffs that are being brought out on the enemy team. So right now it's all about just setting up your team on Shiroki's side. He's still going to have to deal with the Saku, but he has Calibus for that. So when it turns into a 2v whatever Shiroki has left, right? He wants to make sure that Calibus is tanky enough to be able to deal with the Saku, and for another time to be tanky enough to deal with the Saku as well, so that it can die without just using Lifeful Sap and gaining all of the buffs. So, but with Kinu alive on Zuxo's side, if he can buff up this Saku as well, which is actually a pretty good turn for it, he can actually switch it in right now, but that means the settling goes away, right? Settling and all the damage goes away, but right now he shouldn't be worried about settling. He should be worried about getting the Saku buffed up. Water Cutting Lily coming on through, dealing 20% Crystal Plume onto the Saku slot. I don't think he minds too much, but with Toxic Ink and another Crystal Plume coming in, it should kill the Saku. So yeah, I think Zuxo has to think about the turn 30. I think Lifeful Sap with a Kinu switch in on Surnif slot might be the better play here. I don't think Surnif is going to take any pressure, but he does revitalize the Saku and Lifeful Sap, I'm assuming. I'm pretty sure you want the Lifeful Sap to make sure it lives. Yeah, there it is. So it's going to get Toxic Inked as well, but it's not going to be able to kill. That was pretty close. Alright, so he has 60% added HP with this Saku, so he's most likely, obviously, he's going to bring it out and bring it back in at a later time. Mainly using the stamina of the enemy, not doing much with it. Surnif is still here, wreaking havoc. I think, man, is there a snare? I feel like there's a snare on a Yukama, bro. If you have snare on Yukama, you want the Plethoric in order to deal damage, though, with the Acronox, so... I think he's thinking too much about the settling, bro. Just switch the settling out. There's like this thing that happens in these kind of games where people just get so obsessed with settling and they don't switch it out. Like right here, like Naga's gonna die. You're playing a turn 30 game. You're not gonna be able to kill anything. So Water Blade and Water Jet being showed, and Toxic Ink. Ugh, man. I think if he starts switching in Kinus and getting buffs, it would probably be better. Because he could have brought in Kinu on Cernif slot, buffing up the Saku +1, right? And then he could have brought in another Tem that's not going to be able to do very well against these matchups. So that's an overexertion on Calibus, which allows Size Munch to come in for free. So what's probably going to happen here is he wants to uppercut the Monkey, or the 2-Vine slot, but if he does that, Kinu's coming in. So if he brings in Kinu, it buffs up the Calibus once again to +4, +3. Oh, he's gonna buff up the 2-Vine. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. It can survive the uppercut with high defense, right? Yep. Revitalize coming into the Size Bunch. Feather Gatling coming through. Should deal, yeah, deals a pretty good amount. Just about 25, even with the double screen. And settling Cernif is still here. So after 12 turns, it has about 150-ish% added-ish, just about. Usually rounds up, by the way, Mario. Whenever there's damage and it's like 28.5%, it usually rounds up. It'll always round up, normally. Pretty sure they did talk about that. So I'm taking my information from what Crema has told everybody else, so. So Acronox being brought in. Dimmock coming into the Acronox spot. And bringing down the Acronox, so tying it up so it's a little bit easier for Zuxo to be able to win this. Water Cutting Lily onto the Kinu. That did quite a bit to the Kinu though. Beta Burst coming in. Should kill the Size Munch. Ooh, that was really close with the double screen. That was really close with the double screen. So he has Kinu and Saku. If he brings in Saku, that means he has to switch out Cernif to get Kinu buffs. This game, oh man. See, it feels bad because he focused so much on settling. He brings in Kinu, man. I don't know. He has Hypno. The Calibus was snared, so he can just Hypno the Calibus, but then Kinu can Beta Burst the Calibus and Toxic Ink. He should hit his own Calibus. Oh, he stonewalled, okay. Stonewalled the Kinu, nice. Yeah, I think that is gonna definitely help him just secure this win. I don't know. I feel like if he would have got buffs on Saku to get like +3/+3-ish, all he had to do was get Cernif to +5/+5, like he already did, and then his next goal was get Saku buffed up as much as possible, and then get Lifeful Sap, go back on the bench, and use Naga and Size Munch to tank damage in order to get Saku to get +3/+3 or even +4/+4. Once that happened, then Cernif and Saku sit on the field, he spams Revitalize, he keeps Lifeful Sap up, and he just keeps attacking. And I think that would have been the way that Zuxo wins, but with Saku not having any buffs, Saku's not going to be able to kill the Calibus. Calibus is going to be able to Toxic Ink him. Yukama coming in with the full HP. Saku coming in here. Should be Revitalize onto Saku. He needs to get some buffs onto that Saku because the last two Tems are going to be Cernif Saku, right? So. Yeah, the settling doesn't matter here, but now he's going to get baited here. If Yukama has Snare, this Water Cutting Lily is like a super bait. Like this water cutting lily kills Yukama. 110%. He doesn't want Kinu to die, so he has to keep Saku here in order to eat the Toxic Ink. If he wants Yukama dead, he can definitely water cutting lily now. There's no way that this settling does not kill it. It has almost 200%, or has about 100 and almost 160% damage added. Wait, am I counting wrong? Every 10 turns is 80%, right? So it has about 120, my bad. 120% damage. And if it has snare, oof. Hitting the Saku. 78, 70, wow, that did a lot actually. Water cutting lily coming through. This kills Yukama, and if it has snare, it's definitely game over. And it does, it has snare, so Cerny getting snared here. Tornado coming through, 83 to roughly 50. Oh, 42. So yeah, like it's gonna do a lot of damage, but this Toxic Ink's gonna come in. It's gonna live even after the Toxic, but all he has to do is Toxic Ink this slot because he's not leaving the Cerny. Kinu comes in, buffs up the Calibus, makes it even tankier, and with +4/+3 and +3/+2, it's... I mean, it's going to turn 30. Now the fact is, can Cerny kill? And I think he has to overexert to kill the Kinu. But most likely a 2-Vine's coming in here. Because he knows that the Kinu has to stay alive for as long as possible. And this, it doesn't matter because the Cerny isn't even going to kill with +2 defense. Yeah, Hypnosis coming into the into the Saku slot. Making sure it can attack, and then Toxic Ink. Getting the kill. So stalling the turn in order for his Calibus not to take any damage. Kinu comes in. Kinu is going to be able to Hypnosis the Calibus, which is going to stall an extra turn or two. I mean, wait, there is a chance, right? He needs to Hypnosis, Stonewall his Kinu, Revitalize his Kinu. Hypnosis is down, so Water Cutting Lily and Beta Burst should kill the 2-Vine with how many settling procs he has. This isn't completely over for Zuxo. He definitely has some play here. Wait, it was a Hypnosis and he left, right? It was Hypnosis and then he left. So Kinu doesn't have Hypnosis. Revitalize on Kinu is going to keep it alive though for the Hypnosis play later. Yeah, so he's going to click Stonewall on Kinu. I would hope so. Okay. Stonewall being active. Toxic Tick. He has Speed Tie, but we don't know how much speed each Kinu has. So if he can Beta Burst this Kinu, it's definitely going to do enough. So Kinu dies here to a Beta Burst, even if he Hypnosis the Calibus. He would have to Revitalize himself, and Toxic with Beta shouldn't kill. That's actually the play. He has to Revitalize himself. And then if he is faster than this Kinu, then he should live. 35% plus Toxic Ink. Yeah, hopefully both Beta Burst and Toxic Ink doesn't do 40%? 42% damage total? And then he lives. Hopefully he got his turn off. We don't know because in Spectator it doesn't really show the actual time of the players for their time bank. Kinu with a gun needs to be a Twitch emote. Alright, so Kinu actually has more stamina. Revitalize coming in. Yeah, it's definitely gonna tank this Toxic Ink. And the Tick as well. Yeah. And he overexerts the Calibus. Yo, that's pretty huge. That means Beta Burst is not gonna be able to kill. The Surneef won't matter right now. Now what he can do is he can Hypnosis the Calibus, so he has one free turn. Beta Burst isn't gonna kill. It would have killed last turn. Probably not actually. Woo! Wait, what? I don't think it matters. It didn't matter if he Beta Bursted actually. He's gonna be faster, so Beta Burst here kills. But Kinu dies to a Water Cutting Lily. Guys, I'm actually thinking Surneef wins this. Yeah, he has to switch out the Kinu because he needs it to win. Surneef wins this if Kinu dies. Something to think about. Hypnosis on the Calibus. Kinu still lives. I think... Yeah. See, if Kinu would have Beta Bursted the Kinu here, right? It would have overexerted. If it overexerts, it would have done a ton of damage because 23 stamina on a Beta Burst is a lot. And then... Yeah, and then that Kinu would have died. If Shiroki's Kinu dies, he 110% loses the game. In order to win, he has to keep revitalizing with Kinu because Surneef can heal itself. So, yeah. Water Cutting Lily should go faster, so Water Cutting Lily killing the Tuvine is 100% the play here. And then he has to revitalize his own Kinu. I still think Zuso wins this. I still think Zuxo wins this. But he revitalizes himself, right? He gets a 35%. But Surneef can't revitalize. Because, yeah, Surneef can't revitalize this turn. It overexerted. So... Toxic Ink Beta kills. Can't put it to sleep. So Kinu has to Beta Burst this turn because it should die to Toxic Ink and Beta Burst. And this Beta is going to be able to attack twice as well. So even if it doesn't die to that, the Beta Burst here is going to kill. So he has to just Beta Burst whatever he feels like he has to kill. 37, 21. Yeah, he knows it too. Beta Burst. 26%, and then the Toxic Ink kills. So here's like the deciding factor of the game. Wait, oh my god, wait, Kinu can't revitalize. Kinu can't revitalize. It'll overexert and die to a Water Cutting Lily. It has to revitalize itself. It can't revitalize Calibus. Wait. He has to Hypno this turn. Rest his Calibus. Oh. It's gonna overexert. It's a double overexert. Wait, how much damage did that do? Oh my god. How much damage did that do? Rest, rest, rest. Water Cutting Lily. If this kills Calibus, it's game. What? He had to do that last turn, bro. He had to do that last turn so to kill the Kinu. Oh, no. And it wouldn't have killed anyways. Double water cutting lily still wouldn't have killed. GG. Shroki wins it. Woo! Game number 6. We got Lola versus Arkham Knight. Lola is the last and final player on Ronin. Let's see what happens. We got the big monkey boy. We got the Gramps. We got Lawali. And on Arkham side, we still got the Drakash, Grumper, Wolfie, Nagas. And the Naga does get banned first. Arkham's testing what to ban on this set. See how it goes. Giles is the ban. Alright, let's see. It's going to be Volar first pickup. So if there's a doppelganger on Arkham Knight's side, he can definitely pick up that Volar and get that counter matchup win. He can also go with the Volphy to make sure Volar does die, but he decides to go with the Grumper Volphy to deal with whatever comes onto the counter pick side of Alola. Kama gets hit by the Thunderstrike, but Yukama can also Water Cannon and use maybe a Noxious Bomb to kill the Grumper. The reason why Arkham can't use his Volarant in the counter matchup of Volarants is because his is an anaerobic, so. Lawali is going to be the pickup. Grumper Volphy. Look at these cute little guys. Look at them. Yo, think about the designs for these Temtem, okay? This is like a normal type of, you know, Tem. They have like kind of like those cute, like different faces, and then this face just looks like an actual human being. Like, think about that for a second. What is that? So Babwa being, or sorry, not Babwa, Sizemunch being banned on Alola's side, and seeing what's banned on Arkham's side. Rah, rah, rah. Volarant looks like you. Oh man. With the crooked eyebrows and shit. You have wings, Dave? Yo, you can fly? Yo, you can fly, dude? Alright. You got Kama's getting picked up. Makes sense when there's double fire with no Naga, so Raise Your Cash is definitely a way to pick. He picks a Volar and Raise. He has Yukama to be able to deal with that pretty well. It also deals with the Grumper, so only thing you really has to worry about here is the Thunderstrike and the Plague. Thunderstrike shouldn't have to worry too much since he's going to have Aquatic Whirlwind up or even Water Cannon to be able to hit the Grumper. With a double in, it should go down pretty easily. Goes with the Grandpa and the Barnshee. So if you picture Cash here, it's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, I feel like it's hard, man. They both, Drakash and Giles both have answers to some of the Tems on the other side. I think Giles is probably better, and Arkham thinks so too. So, JLHF, Alola versus Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight bringing out the Grumper Volphy, and Alola bringing out Volar and Lawali. So in the starts here, I like Arkham Knight's start. I personally like it better. But I think Alola's lineup overall looks like it's, I don't know, it's hard to say because of Raise. Raise can drop the speed to make sure that all of his Tems can go faster at the times that it needs to. So, like, if Raise gets a -1 speed on Grandpa and Barnshee, in Lowali and Volorin, you know? I think Gaialis and Grumper and Volorin can do quite a bit of work. So it's hard to say. I think it's a pretty close matchup for sure on pick ban phase. I do think Arkham has an advantage in the early game here though, on orange. Where's the dab? What, you want it now, dude? You don't want it after the game, bro? What up? What up? Now can we proceed with the turn? Can we proceed? Wolfie being switched out, Rays being brought in, getting the -1 speed onto the Tems that is needed. Lowali and Volorin. I won't do them on stream, or I won't do it during the matches here though. I want to focus on these matches. So Feather Galling and Hypoxia bringing it down to 31%. Thunderstrike coming in. Oh, 2%, bro. Oh my god. Okay, so Volorin with the -1, definitely getting some value from that Thunderstrike. Absolutely. So with the switch, one attack is doing more than Lowali and Volorin in one attack. So pretty rough. Pretty rough here. He doesn't want the Volorin to die because it wants to be able to hyperkinetic the Volorin, but at the same time it has no +1 speed, so... I don't know what Alola should do here. I think Arkham's in a really good spot though. Arkham definitely can switch out the Rays or leave it in. Whatever one is fine. Decides to hyperkinetic the Rays, bringing down the Rays, and I'm pretty sure Electric Storm here, one kills the Volorin and deals some damage to Lowali, so... Resin Trap is going to do some damage to Grumper. Ooh, 25%, locking it down for 2 turns as well with Botanist. And Electric Storm coming on in against the Strange Vest, which means it's going to have lower special defense. Doing 30% is pretty nice. Bringing it to that perfect 69% HP. So, Lowali doesn't have an exact counter, but Volorin does have Noxious Bombs. Arkham Knight has an anaerobic Volorin, so I think Alola has to bring in Barnchi here. I think it has to bring in Barnchi here. If it does, I'm pretty sure Arkham's bringing in Volorin. It's going to want a Noxious Bomb the Lowali. Yeah, he brings in Barnchi. Volorin. Okay, so he wants to... Barnchi needs to dish out damage onto Volorin before it gets the +1, like the plus special defense. I think that's definitely the goal here for Alola in order to win this game. Volorin can literally sweep the entire team of Alola if it's done correctly. With just Volorin alone. So it's both on Death Switch in, so Hypoxia Barnchi is going to do quite a bit of damage to Volorin. So... Okay, so he wants to keep the Lowali alive. That's the only reason why he'd switch there. Wolfie coming on in. I think with Lowali tanking a Noxious Bomb, it would have been fine. Because it has Strange Vest as well, so it's higher defense. So I think it definitely could have took one of those. It could have Allergic Spread and killed, and also did some decent damage. Like, I mean, not a lot of damage to Valorant, but good damage. This has to be a Hypno onto Valorant, right? Play coming on in into the Grandpa. Another Plague is not going to get the kill, but definitely locking it down for those 3 turns. Hypnosis onto the Valorant. It has Sweatband, so that is putting the Valorant to sleep. Not able to do any attacks now. And we have the speed advantage now with Barnchy and Grandpa. So getting that extra hold up, making sure that the Barnchy can use its +2 speed onto both Tems. Definitely another game plan that can definitely work here. It's not out of question. Now Barnchy can use an attack and Grandpa can try to kill the Wolfie slot before it can actually kill Grandpa on the 2-turn timer for the trap. So not a bad idea. He does have Bully active too, so he could actually Wind Burst. Oh. Gael's coming on in. Hyperkinetic. So he chose to do the Hyperkinetic Strike on a Wolfie. See if he can get the kill with Bully here. It does 50% HP. Tornado. Let's see if it is a kill on the Wolfie. It has high special defense. And it does kill, so no damage being done. I think that is an overexertion though. It's not? Okay, it is. I was about to say, there's no way. So, Barnchy does overexert, so it's going to be only Grandpa here. But with Grandpa, it can Hypnosis the Gaealis, and Noxious Bomb should not kill Grandpa. So, I think what's going to happen here is... he's going to try to make Valorant be the last one alive, and then kill it. It's going to have +2 special defense after this turn, but I think it's okay. Yeah, Hypnosis on the Gaealis. And probably switch in Yukama maybe? Switch in Yukama. Make sure Giles can attack with Hypnosis. And then Hyperkinetic and Water Cannon next turn to try to kill the Gaealis. Or Aquatic Whirlwind. I think it's definitely the play. Yeah, so he brings in the Yukama with the switch in. Hypnosis is being used on the Gaealis to skip this turn. And he's going to try to dish out as much damage as possible this upcoming turn. Noxious Bomb coming in and getting that +2 special defense. Yeah, Valorant is going to have to try to definitely win this game. Yeah, he has nothing to be able to use Water Cannon, so it's either he keeps the Grandpa for later. I don't think he can get another Hypnosis off, though. The player on PDX that lost a match... I don't remember who it was. I'd have to look at the matches really quick. It might have been Vasi. Yeah, I think it was Vasi. Yeah, Tiki Book. Yeah, it's Vasi. Yeah, so it's either you overexert the Grandpa and just kill yourself, or you save it to be able to try to kill Valorant later, because it does still have Sweatband. And he does. So he goes for the... Okay. So he's going to try to kill the Giles as fast as possible. Aquatic Whirlwind kills. Oh, bully active. That's why, dude. I don't know if Aquatic Whirlwind kills. It's really close. Oh my gosh. Oof. So that's a dead Grandpa, right? Or is he going? Oh, he went in. Oh no! Oh no! 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 Takuma mask instead of the snare. Grandpa's still alive, so it's gonna be able to hypnosis it or hyperkinetic later to get more damage off. This is gonna be a +5 special defense Volerin that's gonna have to deal with. Dang. He had answers to the Volerin or to the Yukama. I feel like it's a bait, right? Like, you don't have to kill the Yukama. You only have to kill the Grandpa, right? He coulda Toxic Plumed. Would have been 24 stamina, but it doesn't matter because you have Sweatband. And now you can use Grandpa Hypnosis, get more speed on your Tems. Turbo Choreography onto Lawali. Noxious Bomb onto Lawali. Strange Vest is going to keep it up a little bit longer. Yeah, so I think he's understanding that Yukama, it doesn't matter if Yukama lives. And with Lawali being faster now, it can Tenderness to do less damage. Most use Tenderness, so... yeah, +1 speed, it's definitely going to be able to use that. Honestly, you can save this. Save the Lawali, I think. Bring in Barnshi, save the Lawali really quick. Bringing Grandpa onto Yukama slot. Wait, this is a Toxic Plume turn, actually. You don't want Grandpa in. You want Yukama to die. I think you're just going to Tenderness here. I was going to say try to get more than 1 Tenderness off, but I think 1 Tenderness is fine. This should be a Toxic Plume. Yep. Toxic Plume should kill Lawali. Yep. And it dishes out damage into Yukama. And now he has +5. So, +5 here. -1 attack. It's going to do less with Noxious Bombs, so it's going to be up to Barnshi to be able to kill. I think Volerin wins here. It's a pretty good chance it does. It kind of just depends on how much damage Barnshi takes. How much it takes and how much it dishes out even with +5. Why do you... oh, you need more speed with the hyperkinetic damage. Hypnosis. He does have Bully on Grandpa though. He does have Bully on Grandpa. So this is still going to hit pretty hard with +5. He's going to try to get it to max speed. So he's going to probably switch in Barnshi and Turbo this turn. He's going to switch in Barnshi, Turbo this turn. And then he's going to switch back in Yukama for the Toxic Plume that's going to kill both Tems. And then it's going to be Barnshi versus Volerin. I think that's pretty much what's going to happen. Or... oh, I forgot about Bamboozle spam. I forgot about Bamboozle spam. I actually forgot about that. I forgot Barnshi had Bamboozle. Wait, Grandpa can keep hyperkineticing here. So this is going to be a Barnshi Bamboozle onto Grandpa and a hyperkinetic strike onto Volerin. If he runs Bamboozle, Alola actually wins. It's just going to be a slow win. Like a really slow win. Yeah, so if he has Bamboozle, he wins. What's wrong with Hyperkinetic Strike? It doesn't do the exact damage it's supposed to. It doesn't do 50% special attack. 50... What? I don't think he has it, guys. I don't think he has Bamboozle. 76? That's not bad. Yo, that's not bad damage, guys. Wait, why did he use Tornado? Wait, why did he use Tornado? He needs the Tornado here and then Hypno. He should have Hypoxia'd. He fucked up that turn. Now he can't attack and Hypnosis. He messed up that turn. That could have been more damage. Wait, he has to have Bamboozle. What else? He doesn't have Energy Manipulation. Right? Tornado? Oh, he has Turbo. He has Turbo over Energy Manip. Yeah, he should have Hypoxia'd and then Tornadoed with the Hypno turn. Alright, here we go. How much damage? 76? 54? Tornado coming through. 54. 30. Ah, man. I don't know. It seems like Vulern wins here. I think, dude, I actually think if he wins here, I think it's because of the Hypoxia not hitting and then the Tornado turn. Because he would be down to like 30, probably like 25% HP right now. Wait, what? He rested? What? I'm so confused. 38? 20? Yeah, dude, he would have won if... Oh. That's game. It's over. It's over, guys. GG. Paradox taking it. 1-5. GG's. Woo! Arkham taken.